Thank you, Mr. Chairman, for your leadership on this issue. And I also want to thank Chairman Schuster for laying out the bold vision of reforming the FAA and modernizing it. I want to thank all the panelists for their testimony. Mr. Park, I want to thank you for American Airlines' commitment to Miami. Representing Florida as a southernmost district, we certainly appreciate all the jobs and opportunities that the airline offers our community. And I also want to commend you on the progress of the merger. I was talking to Armando Codina earlier today, who was on the former AMR board, and we were remembering how you had promised that the merger would be in the best interest of all the stakeholders, debt holders, shareholders, employees, communities like Miami, and passengers, and by most accounts, you have kept your word. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
A question for you. In prior air traffic control reform debates, the airlines advocated for a cost-based financing system to shift some of the funding burden to corporate general aviation operators. Is this a significant factor in your support for a cost-based financing system today? In other words, do you think more users should contribute to funding the air traffic control operation?
It is not a significant piece of my testimony, and thank you for asking. This, to be quite clear, the A4A position is not a position about trying to reduce or shift our tax burden. We have said that despite the fact that commercial aviation does pay more than its fair share, that's fine. The benefits here are so great that we're not doing that. Our advocacy here is not because we want to see a shift in the burden. Indeed, we've said we're willing to continue to pay what we're paying today, even though the system will become more efficient, and we're already paying more than our fair share. So this has nothing to do with shifting burden. It has everything to do with trying to compel all of you to do the right thing and to get this extremely important commercial enterprise into a much more commercial environment so that it can succeed. And if that means we have to pay more than our share, if that means that we continue to pay more than our share, that's perfectly fine, because the benefits are going to accrue to all of us.
Thank you, Mr. Parker. Mr. Rinaldi, I've spoken with several of the employees of the MIA air traffic tower there, and they're currently working on a program called OAPM, which is a complete redesign of the airspace from Jacksonville to Orlando all the way down to Miami. These new routes are being designed with the latest GPS technology to allow for more efficient flow of air traffic. One concern that they do have is regarding the need to train new air traffic controllers as staffing levels have decreased. Over the past year, MIA has lost about 15 controllers alone due to retirements and will lose even more over the next several months. It takes 2 to 3 years to fully train a new air traffic controller. As air traffic at MIA in Florida continues to grow, safety is our #1 priority. Can you talk about the need to maintain a steady workforce of well-qualified air traffic controllers, maybe in the context of this proposed change of the air traffic control operation? Do you think some of the models being discussed would alleviate this situation?
Absolutely. Thank you for the question. It's a great question, and it's one of the issues that keep me up late at night. And I said in my opening that currently our busy facilities, Miami, Dallas, New York, Houston, Chicago, is experiencing staffing levels that are approaching uncomfortable for all of us. Controllers are working 6-day work weeks, extended work days. Fatigue is entering into our work environment, while the NTSB is telling us to reduce fatigue into our work environment. We've tried to work collaboratively with the FAA for the last 2.5, 3 years and take some recommendations that came out of the National Academy of Science, along with an independent review panel that I think David Grizzle was part of commissioning when he was COO, and to really focus on real numbers for our facilities, not only to staff the day-to-day positions, but to actually work on modernizing our system. It takes the expertise of the controllers at the very core level to develop these procedures along with the pilots so that these procedures work very well and seamlessly in and out of Miami or wherever we have done it. We've been very successful in Houston, where we turned on in OAPM, is what we call that OAPM, we call it OAPM. Very successful in Houston, where we turned on 60-plus new procedures with a flip of the switch. And in North Texas, we also did it in Dallas. American Airlines seems to be very happy with it. 80-plus facility new procedures, flipped it on, optimal descent approaches, burning less fuel, very carbon-friendly for the environment. It is what we would like to do throughout the country, except our staffing prohibits from us doing it.
Thank you, Mr. Rinaldi. My time has expired. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.